Let's start the daily discussion on current affairs. The first topic that we will take up today is on enhanced participation of women in politics. Since the passage of the 73rd and 74th Amendment Act, the participation of women in politics in India has increased considerably. The article emphasized on how ordinary women in political parties have been ignored earlier are playing a major role. In the present day political scenario. Okay, before 2009, men were mainly in charge of reaching out to male voters during campaigning. Ever since then, due to quota elections and better grassroots organization, women campaigning workers have started reaching out to both men and women more equally. Right now in the campaigning also, more and more women are participating. This is a new trend in political scenario where each and every political parties, including independent candidate, they are giving emphasis to the women campaigners, okay, who are campaigning for different candidates. What is the significance of ordinary women party workers in defending India's grassroots democracy? Over the last 3 decades, since 73rd Amendment for Panchayat and municipal election, women have not only contested but also won the elections. Many women have won the elections. Women party workers at the grassroots level, often called party women, are leading the way in connecting women voters to political parties. They are heavily involved in activity at polling booth and during the campaigning. They are also quite actively involved in party activities as well as in the campaigning activities. Grassroots organizing efforts by ordinary women party workers have led to more equal reach to both men and women during voter mobilization. They have strengthened local party organization, ending the era when women wing were led exclusively by the elites. Today, women wing include district head, ward leaders, booth level managers, and Pan Pramukh full booth managers, indicating a more granular and robust organization where at each and every stage the women party workers are actively involved and participating in the activities. What is the impact of this enhanced participation of women in the Indian politics? India has witnessed a remarkable phenomena where women electoral turnout has not only matched but surpassed that of men. It allows women to secure party tickets before elections because it is usually simpler for women to take credit for relying on other women. This leads to their greater representation in assembly and the parliament. Okay, that's why the number of women actively participating in the party activities is growing, and even in there are more number of contesting and getting elected as well as actively participating in the party activities. It has led to the growing list of distributive promises and welfare schemes targeted at women voters. For example, recent passing of the Women Reservation Bill in Parliament. This led to the Women Reservation Bill being passed in the Parliament, where the government has amended and passed the Women Reservation Bill, which was pending for a long time, to give women 1/3 reservation in the Parliament and the state legislative assemblies. It has promoted parties to take targeted electoral efforts to women voters. This is directly to the labor of women party workers. So more and more women are participating because the women party workers, they have labor hard to reach this level and reach this level of recognition. As they are able to reach at this level of recognition, so they are also getting more and more tickets and also getting active political participation. Okay, what is the role of the women party workers beyond election? Okay, so women party workers organize numerous events ranging from planting drive to dharna and seva abhiyan service campaigning, mobilizing women from various social groups like the self-help group and the Anganwadi workers. Because in the last few years, the self-help group activities has increased in the country where women actively participate beyond the human health in economic activities, giving along with giving them economic power or income source. This gives them an organizational front to mobilize themselves and also to get political mileage out of this, so that mobilization efforts. They keep women engaged in politics between election cycle, contribute to the increased participation of women in the protest or recent farmers protest. Even women, large number of women participated. Okay, because they are mobilized, so it becoming easier for all to gather their support and get the benefit of the women vote. Okay. They keep women engaged in the politics between election cycle and the growing participation of women raises questions about whether it makes Indian democracy stronger or weaker. However, it is evident that women's political agency is indispensable for India's democratic future. Resurgence of the nuclear factor in next topic is resurgence of the nuclear factor in global politics. The article emphasizes that nuclear factor have regained prominence in the strategic calculations of major powers and significant regional arenas such as Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. They even caution that increasing tension between the US and Europe, as well as Russia and China, are leading the world towards a possible nuclear conflict. But factors are promoting a assessment of nuclear deterrence globally. Nuclear dynamics in Europe, the war in Ukraine and Russia's nuclear action are making the West reconsider how deterrence work. They are considering ideas like making NATO nuclear and unconventional forces stronger, increasing cooperation between France and Britain, and creating a separate European deterrent led by France. Because nuclear weapons are called as the weapons of mass destruction. That is why. So, if the nuclear threat is growing, so more and more nations are worried about the ongoing nuclear threat and its impact on the global security scenario. Okay. So, nuclear dynamics in Europe, the war in Ukraine and Russia's nuclear action are making the West reconsider how deterrence work. They have considering idea like making NATO nuclear and conventional forces stronger, increasing cooperation between France and Britain, and creating a separate European deterrent led by France. Nuclear dynamics in Asia, China's assertiveness and the fear of American isolationism under a potential second Trump term are nudging Beijing's Asian neighborhood to reconsider their atomic abstinence. Japan and South Korea are discussing ways to enhance the protection provided by the American nuclear umbrella. However, if Trump wins the November election, the discussion about having their own nuclear weapon may become more serious in Northeast Asia. Nuclear dynamics in Middle East, concerned about Iran developing nuclear weapons, are making Arab countries more interested in increasing their own atomic capabilities. Reports suggest that civil nuclear technology cooperation is included in the security agreement being discussed between Saudi Arabia and the US. What are the emerging challenges to traditional nuclear deterrent? The rise of AI and robotic weapon is raising questions about the dangers of automating nuclear decision making and its consequences for strategic stability between the two major powers. The US has voiced concern that China and Russia might rely on algorithms to decide when to deploy nuclear weapons. There are concerns in the US that Russia plans to deploy anti-satellite nuclear weapons to undermine Washington's dominance. Okay. So Pakistan's nuclear challenge for India. Ignoring Pakistan's nuclear threat would be imprudent for India. Pakistan's overall strength diminishes compared to India's. India should understand that development will intensify its nuclear weapon program as a last resort against the perceived dominance of India in the region. Because Pakistan has nothing except its nuclear weapon to project itself advance to India. Because in all of the domain, from technology to food security, India is at advantage over Pakistan. And here Pakistan will definitely enhance its nuclear threat perception. So where it can show that to its own people, not to the world, but to its own people that I am nuclearly, I am more powerful to India in the nuclear domain only. That is why it can intensify its nuclear arsenal program only to hide its lapses in all other major domains, and that is before its own people, because time will come when its own people will ask the government what you have done in the period for the country. Whereas even right now they have started asking question and comparing that development with a neighboring country called Bangladesh, and how Bangladesh, due to its close cooperation with India, is able to make a turnaround, and Pakistan remain where it was. Okay. Pakistan has a long-standing focus on developing nuclear weapon and currently holds an advantage over India in terms of both the size and sophistication of the arsenal. Its ongoing strategic partnership with China indicates that potential to maintain its advantage against India. Okay, China growing nuclear arsenal. China's nuclear threat is growing as Beijing expands its nuclear arsenal. Western estimates suggest that by 2030 China will have around 1,000 nuclear weapons. By 2035 this number could increase to 1,500. This is the present strategy of China to be powerful by projecting its nuclear weapon and nuclear arsenal, because China not only want to project itself as a strong power here in Asia, but as a global power, and its race for a global power, the nuclear weapon will definitely add much value to its strength. Definitely it will emphasize on the development of nuclear weapons. Way forward for India, it's crucial to focus on building defense against China's growing nuclear weapon. This should be a priority for the nation, which means developing nuclear and missile capability with clear intent. Okay. The next, Indian government must order a comprehensive review of the changing global nuclear dynamics and regional atomic challenges, and find a way to modernize India's atomic arsenal and change its nuclear doctrine. There is no first use clause, and the deterrent provision need to be changed, so it will facilitate in India becoming a strong country in the nuclear domain. The review must also explore ways to accelerate India's civilian nuclear energy program. India should completely revamp the legal and institutional structure that govern its atomic energy advancement. Okay. Next is the landslide risk in India. So the article discusses the devastation caused by cyclone Remal in West Bengal and northeast of India, highlighting online class. Online class okay, so highlighting the significant damage of fatalities, particularly from landslides. It emphasizes the need for better disaster preparedness and the development of early warning system, because disasters can be stopped, but it can be better handled through well advanced preparation. So that is the strategy big in the times to come. disasters, number of disasters will definitely grow. Another disaster grow, so the preparedness of the country should be strengthened. So the casualty or loss of life and property will be reduced. Otherwise, this will lead to a very grave situation. Extensive risk area, approximately 13% of India's landmass, spanning over 15 states and 4 union territory, is vulnerable to landslides, and 4 union territories is vulnerable to landslide, highlighting the widespread nature of the risk. Landslide, due to rainfall or other activity, is a major factor or major security threat for India. Okay. Concentration of northeastern region alone accounts for 42% of the landslide prone areas, emphasizing its significant vulnerabilities due to its mostly hilly terrain. As with hilly terrain, so the threat of landslide get extended over there. Historical data between 2015 and 2022, the northeast record 378 major landslides events. Okay, so heavy rainfall, most landslides in India are caused by heavy rainfall. Sustained heavy rain over several days can trigger land displacement, as seen during cyclone Remal in northeast. Earthquake are another major trigger for landslides, particularly in hilly regions. The northeastern region is prone to both earthquake and the landslides. Human activities, unregulated construction, infrastructure development, and certain agricultural practices increase landslide risk. Lack of building regulations in hilly areas exacerbates the problem. Geological factor, the hilly terrain itself, especially in the regions like the northeast, is inherently prone to landslides due to its geological characteristics. What efforts are being made to manage landslide risk? National strategy, the National Landslide Risk Management Strategy, finalized in 2019, focused on vulnerability mapping, early warning system, and mountain zone regulation. Early warning system based on rainfall forecast are being held in Nagaland, Sikkim, Uttarakhand, and Kerala. This system predict potential landslides by combining rainfall data with soil and terrain information. So the soil and terrain information along with the rainfall data will be helpful in proper forecasting where landslides are supposed to take place, and that can save the precious life of the people and also the property. Institutional investment, organizations like the Central Building Research Institute and IIT Roorkee are involved in setting up this warning system. Ongoing project, the Central Building Research Institute and the IIT Roorkee are installing early warning system at locations in Sikkim, Uttarakhand and Kerala. IIT Mandi is also working on this system because government is involving the elite technical institution like the IIT in making an assessment or making setting stations and issuing early warning system in the landslide prone areas. How effective are the early warning system? Current status. Early warning system are still in trial phase at a few locations such as Nagaland, Sikkim, Uttarakhand and Kerala. Okay, they are in the trial phase. So rainfall based prediction, this system are useful The system uses rainfall forecast combined with soil and terrain data to predict landslide effectively. Successful trial, the system set up in Nagaland to protect the state legislative assembly shows positive results. Reliability, reliable rainfall predictions are available a day in advance and warning are issued if the forecast exceeds the threshold for land movement. Challenges, earthquake triggered landslide cannot be predicted as earthquakes themselves are unpredictable. So landslide triggered by earthquake are unpredictable because earthquake itself is not predictable. Okay, so as earthquake is not predictable, the landslide due to earthquake is not predictable at all. And in India, the earthquake due to that landslide due to earthquake is a major factor in the landslide. Rising Next topic is rising heat stress in urban India. Large part of the country are experiencing a brutally hot summer with prolonged heat waves. The article highlights that rising temperature are not the sole contributing factor to the heat stress being experienced in urban India. But the other contributing factor to the heat stress in India, a report by the Center for Science and Environment shows that the extreme discomfort during summer month in major cities like Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, Bengaluru, Kolkata, and Hyderabad over the last 2 decades is caused by a combination of factors: air temperature, land surface temperature, relative humidity, rapid increase in built up area, and the concentration. Impact: the heat stress pose a grave risk to lives, especially among vulnerable groups like the elderly, babies, pregnant women, those living in slums, and those working outdoors. How has climate change aggravated the severity of the heat wave in India? It has led to okay. It has led to higher temperature and increased humidity, which intensify the discomfort during heat waves. Further changes in the land use and urban sprawl contribute to the urban heat island effect, trapping heat in city centers. But the urban heat island effect, it refers to the trapping of heat in densely built urban areas due to materials like concrete, glass, and steel. Consequences, it result in higher temperature in city centers compared to surrounding areas. Cities do not cool down at night as quickly as they used to, leading to prolonged heat stress because with the concrete construction, so heat the cities are not being cooled down even after the sunset at night. So this leads to a temperature being built over and over again and again, and that continue a prolonged heat stress in the urban areas. Way forward, many states have collaborated with the National Disaster Management Authority (NDMA) to develop heat action plan. However, most of these plans remain theoretical because of insufficient funding. Detailed and a lasting version for change. Therefore, there is a requirement for stronger and more effective heat action plan. There is a need to adopt city-specific management plan that consider local factors. Such plans should prioritize green space and water bodies and target all heat generators, including vehicles, industries, and concrete surface for Ahmedabad school roof program, which offer an affordable solution to the urban heat island effects. Okay. So there is a need to adopt city-specific management plan that consider local factors. Such plans should prioritize green space and water bodies and target all heat generators, including vehicles, industries, and concrete surface. And Ahmedabad has given a certain example in this. They need to adopt long-term planning combined with immediate action during heat waves, prevent cities from getting hot excessively, and ultimately save lives. And the Campi Flegrei, this is the most powerful earthquake in decades, struck the Campi Flegrei super volcano region in Italy. Campi Flegrei, also known as the Felgrane Fields, which is an active volcano area situated near the Naples, Italy. Campi Flegrei does not consist of a single volcano, but a complex volcanic system featuring multiple centers within a large caldera. One third of it is located beneath the Thames Sea, situated between the mainland Italy and the island of the Sardinia. The caldera span approximately 15 km in diameter. It was formed around 39,000 years ago following a massive eruption that depleted its magma chambers. It is considered as the largest active caldera in Europe. Campi Flegrei surpasses the Vesuvius in size and activity level. Its last eruption occurred in 1538, which was relatively minor but resulted in the creation of the Monte Nuovo, a new mountain. It is classified as a supervolcano, which is capable of producing eruptions with global consequences. About the supernova, a supernova is a volcano that has had an eruption with a volcanic explosivity index of 8, which is the largest recorded value on the index. The volume of deposit for such an eruption is greater than 1000 cubic kilometer or 230 cubic miles. Article 239B of the Constitution. The Election Commission recently cited Article 239B of the Constitution, which prevents the courts from interfering with the Commission's operation during an ongoing election. Article 239B is part of the Part 15 of the Constitution, which specifically address electoral issues. Judicial role in electoral matters. Article 239A restricts the judiciary from questioning the constitutionality of law concerning electoral district boundary or seat allocation. Article 329B has amended by the Constitution 19th Amendment Act 1966 state that election to either House of Parliament or State Legislature can only be challenged through an election petition as outlined by law. Legal framework of election petition. The Representation of the People Act 1951 specifies that High Court are the authorities empowered to hear and decide election petitions. Decision from this petition can be appealed to the Supreme Court. First, it should be the High Court. Supreme Court interpretation. The Punnaswamy judgment, the Supreme Court in the Punnaswamy versus Returning Officer Namakal clarified that the term election in Article 329B encompasses the entire electoral process from the notification of election to the declaration of result. It established that the court cannot interfere with the electoral process once it has begun until its completion. The Venkatachalam versus the state Swami Chakra, the court determined that Article 329B does not apply to matters related to Article 191 and 193, which deals with disqualification and penalty for members of Parliament and the Legislative Assemblies. In the Small Island Developing States, at the 4th International Conference of Small Island Developing States at St. John's, Antigua and Barbuda, the Global Economic Facility emphasized sustainable development for the small island developed states because they are small in number and they are more prone to natural calamities because of their vulnerability. The Global Economic Facility alongside partners has provided 1.9 billion in grant finance to the small island development states. Okay, so the Global Environment Facility allocated partners has provided 1.9 billion in grant finance to SIDs supporting green and blue economy approaches, biodiversity conservation, climate resilience, renewable energy, and more. The ongoing Global Environment Facility 8 funding cycle 2020-26 prioritizes the need of SIDs and least developed countries. They are a group of countries characterized by their small land area, limited resources, and vulnerability to environmental and economic challenges. They are typically located in the Caribbean, Pacific, and the Indian Ocean region. The SIDs face unique developmental issues including climate change, impact, natural disasters, and limited economic diversification opportunities. About the Global Environment Facility, the Global Environment Facility was established in 1992 during the Rio Earth Summit. It comprises funds dedicated to addressing biodiversity loss, climate change, pollution, and land and ocean health issues. Governed by an assembly council, secretariat, and the various agencies, it supports five major international conventions, including the Minamata Convention on Mercury. Okay, so the Minamata Convention on Mercury. Uh, and the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change with 184 member countries including India. Its secretariat is in Washington DC, and the World Bank serves as its trustee managing the Global Environment Trust Fund. Whatever funds is there for the Global Environment Facility, it is managed by the World Bank. So World Bank as the most reputed organization manages the funds of the Global Environment Facility. Okay, so eucalyptus tree, the Kerala government allowed the Kerala Forest Development Corporation to plant eucalyptus tree for financial reason, sparking protest from the environmentalists who argue it could harm forest and increase human-animal conflict. The government later amended the order to restrict planting eucalyptus only on the Kerala Forest Development Corporation land, aligning with the 2021 eco-restoration policy aimed at replacing invasive species with indigenous flora. Issue with the order in conflict with the 2020 eco-restoration policy, which aims to replace invasive species with native one to support wildlife. Widespread planting of eucalyptus face opposition. Study like the Chinna example demonstrate that replacing eucalyptus with native fruit-bearing species would mitigate human-wildlife conflicts. Instances of successful restoration, such as the Marayor Sandal division, highlights the benefit of removing exotic species supported by international organizations. About eucalyptus, it is a native to Australia, Tasmania, and New Islands, and is an evergreen tree primarily planted for fuel and furniture wood, as well as paper and pulp production. However, concern arise due to its high water consumption, toxicity to animals, and flammable oil emissions. Despite being a biomass production champion, its rapid growth exacerbates water depletion and soil fertility reduction, leading to ecological concern. Ancient rock painting next. The Makshi village in Goa, rock painting dating back to the Neolithic age, were confined by the archaeological survey of India. Rock carving including depiction of jabbus, bulls, and antelopes, alongside footprints of uh, couples were discovered on a metabasalt rock along the dry riverbed of the Jamri River. These carvings represents prehistoric art in India spanning various periods. Upper Paleolithic period, earliest paintings such as linear representation of animal like Vision, elephant and tiger alongside stick-like human figures found at the sites like the Vimbatka and the Jalwarpuram. Mesolithic period predominantly depicting human scenes of haunting. Okay. Upper Paleolithic period, Mesolithic period predominantly depicting human scene of hunting and community dances with animal painted in a naturalistic style and humans in a stylistic manner. Major sites include the Panchamari and the Adarmar Adamgad Hill. Neolithic Chalcolithic period characterized by pottery and metal tools depicted in rock painting with predominant colors of white and red, possibly made from grinding hematite and limestone. Men are portrayed as adventurous and animal appeared youthful and majestic. Notable sites include the Chambal region and the Dimabad in Maharashtra. Then coming to the question, examine the role of social media and citizen journalism in ensuring ethical and moral value in governance. Social media days are most prominent right now. Value are important and enduring belief or principle based on which an individual make judgment in life. Ethical and moral values in governance are foundation for building trust, ensuring accountability and fostering transparency within society. Integrity, fairness, rule of law are some of the ethical and moral values to be followed in governance. In recent years, social media and citizen journalism have emerged as significant players in promoting these values. However, their influence is multifaceted, presenting both opportunity and challenges. Without ethics, governance is but a house of cards, vulnerable to the winds of self-interest and manipulation. Who it is said by Kofi Annan, the former Secretary General of the United Nations. He has rightly said this. Positive role of social media and citizen journalism in ensuring ethical and moral value in governance, promoting accountability. These platforms hold public officials accountable. A citizen can directly question and critique their action. The Delhi government's introduction of the ESLA monitoring system is an example where social media feedback led to improve accountability in the service delivery. Promoting inclusivity, citizen journalism brings a light issues affecting marginalized community, ensuring their concern and addressed by in governance. The use of social media to highlight the plight of minor scavengers in India has brought attention to this inhuman practice, promoting government action towards eradication. Fighting corruption, social media and citizen journalism have become effective tool in uncovering and reporting corruption. In 2011, Indian anti-corruption movement gained momentum through social media, leading to significant public support and the eventual establishment of the Lokpal and Lokayukta to investigate corruption cases. Enhancing policy making by gathering public opinion and feedback through social media, government can make more informed and ethical policy decisions. The My Government platform is an example where Indian government invites suggestions from citizens on various policy matters. Spreading awareness on rights and duties, social media educate citizens about their rights and duties, promoting a more informed and responsible society. Campaigning like You Know Your Right various NGO use social media to spread awareness, encouraging ethical engagement with governance. Encouraging whistleblowing, platforms like the Twitter have enabled whistleblowers to expose unethical practices within government and organization, leading to investigation and reforms. Exposure of the weapons scam in India is a notable example where social media played a crucial role in bringing the issue to light. So, promoting social justice, social media campaigns have been pivotal in mobilizing support for social justice causes, influencing policy changes, and promoting ethical governance. Nirbhaya case led to widespread outrage on social media, which was instrumental in fast-tracking changes to law on sexual assault in India. Enhancing disaster response. Okay. So, enhancing disaster response and management, social media has been used effectively for coordinating disaster response and relief efforts, showcasing governance that is responsive and responsible. During the Kerala flood in 2018, social media platform are crucial in organizing relief operation and disseminating information. Ravindra, encouraging whistleblowing, platforms like the Twitter have enabled whistleblowers to expose. Okay, so Kerala flood in 2018, social media platform are crucial in organizing relief operations and disseminating information. Building community engagement, social media fosters a sense of community and collective action, encouraging ethical behavior and governance. That Danushchap Job Giving Week, India see wide participation promoted through social media, highlighting the role of civic responsibility in governance. Limitation associated with the social media and citizen. Okay, then spread of information, misinformation. Social media can facilitate the rapid spread. You know, the online class are coach. Social spread of misinformation. Social media can facilitate the rapid spread of false information, undermining information decision making. In 2020, Delhi riots saw the circulation of fake news on social media, exacerbating tensions and misleading the public, highlighting the challenge of ensuring accurate information dissemination. This may echo chambers. They often create echo chambers where users are exposed only to viewpoints similar to their own, hindering the development of well-rounded understanding okay of the government issues. So polarization observed during the that CA camp protest in India was partly attributed to such echo chambers, limiting constructive dialogue. Lack of accountability. Citizen journalists may not adhere to the same ethical standards as professional journalists, leading to unverified reporting. The spread of unconfirmed reports during the Jat reservation agitation in Haryana caused unnecessary panic and social unrest, so causing the need for responsible journalism. Manipulation and propaganda. Government and political entity can manipulate social media for propaganda, undermining democratic processes. The alleged use of social media during election to influence voter perception, as seen in the Facebook Cambridge Analytica data scandal, raises concern about the ethical use of the platform. Cyberbullying and harassment. Social media can be a tool for harassment, especially against discriminating voice, affecting the ethical discourse in governance. According to survey by the UNESCO, 73% women journalists have experienced online violence, deterring them from participating in governance related discussion. Digital divide. It limits the effectiveness of social media and citizen journalism in promoting ethical governance, as not all citizens have all citizens equal access to these platforms. According to 2020 report by the IAMAI, only 29% of rural India has access to internet compared to 64% in urban area, highlighting the challenge of inclusivity. Because in case of inclusion, so more inclusion is visible in the urban area than in the rural area. Okay, so as more visibility, more inclusiveness in the digital platform are in the urban area, so the rural people are at disadvantage in this domain in comparison to the urban people. So this is the you can say the digital divide is a term which is emerging for this. Okay, then sensationalization. The quest for viral content can lead to sensationalization, overshadowing important governance issues with trivial and sensational news. Coverage of celebrity scandals often receive more attention than critical governance issue, diverting public attention and focus from matters of ethical importance. This is also the issue with the particular program. Then, as it is said, knowledge is power, information is liberating. Though information, inform and ethical use of social media, we can empower citizens and strengthen the pillars of democracy. Thus, there is a need for enhancing digital literacy, promoting ethical journalism, and facilitating inclusive dialogue to harness these tools for a greater good, ensuring ethical governance. Then, coming to the MCQs. So, Panchamari and Adamgarh Hills are famous for rock painting. The power to decide an election petition is vested in the High Court. Then the review can be done in the Supreme Court. Consider the following statement about the global environment facility to established in 1991 to address global environment issues. So the facility operates independently of the United Nations. The World Bank serves as the trustee of the global environment facility. So all the three are correct. Eucalyptus tree have leaves that are typically fragrant and contain essential oil, right? The wood of the eucalyptus tree is primarily used for making paper and not for construction. So 2 is incorrect, 1 is correct. Which of the following states is the Nasi tribe primarily found? Nasi tribe is found in Arunachal Pradesh. B. Makshi, Chetimuthu Pathur, and Putyatham essentially mentioned the new Jwar. They are the exhibited Neolithic sites. With reference to the election in India, consider the following statement: the validity of any law relating to the delimitation of constituency shall not be called in question in any court of the country. Right? Election can only be questioned through an election petition presented according to rules made by the Election Commission of India. Only one is correct. Consider the following statement regarding the Rudram 2 missile tested recently. The missile is the first indigenously developed anti-radiation missile, right? It is a surface to air missile, no, air to surface missile, which can be launched. So one is correct, only two is incorrect. Consider the following statement in respect to the National Program for Prevention of the Uncontrolled Deafness. The program aims to prevent and treat hearing impairment and provide medical rehabilitation. Right? The program aims to develop a national network of hearing aid manufacturers. No. The program includes training of Indian Sign Language. No. Only one. Consider the following statement that bond yielding in return an investor can expect to earn if the bond is held until maturity. Right? Bond yield is inversely related to the bond price. Both are correct here.